Today we are going to tell you a story of Mark Twain, the curious adventure of Tom Sawyer and the river ghost.
Tom Sawyer woke up one bright Saturday morning with a feeling that something exciting was about to happen. The sun was shining through his small bedroom window, the birds were chirping cheerfully, and Aunt Polly was already yelling from the kitchen for him to come down and eat his breakfast before it got cold. But Tom had other plans. He had heard a rumor the day before, one that had stirred his curiosity more than any adventure he had ever imagined. According to old Ben Harper, a talkative fisherman who loved exaggerating stories almost as much as Tom loved listening to them, there was a ghost haunting the bend of the Mississippi River. Ben swore that late at night, a pale figure walked along the riverbank carrying a lantern and speaking in a strange whispering voice. Some folks laughed, others shivered, but Tom took it as a challenge. Ghost or no ghost, Tom muttered to himself as he pulled on his shoes, I'm gonna find out. After breakfast, and after escaping Aunt Polly's list of chores, Tom ran down to the river, where his best friend Huck was already sitting on a fallen log, whittling a stick with his pocketknife. Huck! Tom shouted. I got a plan. We're going ghost hunting. Huck raised an eyebrow. Tom, if this is about old Ben's ghost story, you know folks say he sees ghosts every time he drinks too much cider. Exactly. Tom said. Which means nobody else is brave enough to check. But we are. Tonight, we're going to the river bend. Huck grinned. Well, I reckon if we get eaten, we'll at least be famous. The two boys spent the rest of the day planning their mission with military seriousness. They gathered supplies, a lantern, a long stick, just in case the ghost attacks, leftover biscuits Tom stole from the kitchen, and a rope they felt sure they would need, though neither could explain why. When nightfall arrived, they met under the large oak tree near the river. The moon was high and bright, throwing long shadows across the water. The air was cool, and the sound of crickets filled the quiet night. You scared? Tom whispered. A little, Huck admitted. But I'll deny it if you ever tell anyone. They crept along the narrow river path until they reached the bend, an eerie place where the water moved slower, and the trees leaned over the river as if listening to secrets. It was quiet, too quiet. Suddenly, Huck tugged Tom's sleeve. Tom, look! Across the water, a light flickered. Not the moon, not a star, but a small dancing lantern glow. And next to it, a tall, pale figure moving slowly along the riverbank. It's him, Tom whispered. The river ghost. The boys crouched behind a bush, hearts pounding like marching drums. The figure stopped, bent over the water, and muttered something none of them could hear. Tom, Huck whispered nervously, maybe we should go home and pretend we never saw this. But Tom shook his head firmly. Huck, we came to solve a mystery, and by golly, we're gonna solve it. So they tiptoed toward the figure, crawling like two brave, foolish explorers. When they finally got close enough, Tom took a deep breath. Sir, ghost, thing, whatever you are, stop. The figure froze. Slowly, very slowly, it turned around. Tom and Huck nearly jumped behind the bush again. But then they heard a familiar voice. Who's there? Show yourselves. It's Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, Tom said, stepping into the lantern light. The figure raised the lantern higher, revealing Mr. Jenkins, the school janitor. Mr. Jenkins? Huck gasped. You're the ghost. The old man sighed. What on earth are you boys doing out here? Tom shrugged. Trying to find a ghost. And looks like we found you instead. Mr. Jenkins chuckled softly. I suppose the whole town thinks I'm a spirit wandering the river. Tom nodded. Pretty much. Well, Mr. Jenkins said, sitting on a rock, I come here every night to look for something. Something important to me. The boys sat with him, curiosity overpowering their fear. What did you lose? Tom asked. My wedding ring, Mr. Jenkins said sadly. It slipped off my finger right here by the river 2 weeks ago. I've been searching every night since. Huck frowned. Why don't you look during the day? Because, Mr. Jenkins replied, the water glows differently under the moon. Sometimes the reflection helps me see clearer. Tom felt a pang of guilt for thinking the worst of him. Well, maybe we can help. Mr. Jenkins smiled. If you boys want to try, I'd be grateful. So for the next hour, the three of them searched the riverbank carefully. The moonlight sparkled on the shallow water, and the lantern cast warm circles of light as they walked along the edge. Finally, after many tries, Tom suddenly shouted, "I found it." He plunged his hand into the water and pulled out a silver ring glistening in the moonlight. Mr. Jenkins' eyes filled with tears, not ghostly ones, but honest, grateful ones. "Thank you, boys. You've returned something precious to me." Tom grinned proudly. "Well, sir, we figured it's better to find a real treasure than chase fake ghosts." Mr. Jenkins placed a gentle hand on Tom's shoulder. "And you boys have more courage, and kindness, than most grown men I know." As they walked home together, Huck whispered, "Tom, this is the best ghost adventure we ever had." Tom nodded. "Yep. Turns out the real mystery wasn't a ghost, it was what a man can lose when nobody helps him." When they reached the town, Mr. Jenkins said, "I owe you boys something." "No, sir," Tom said. "Just knowing we did the right thing is enough." The old man smiled. "Tom Sawyer, you've got an honest heart. Don't ever lose it." And that night, as Tom lay in bed, he felt proud, not because he had chased a ghost, but because he had learned something far more important. Courage is good, but kindness is greater.